Let's hope this works on the first take, because I only got one of these.
100 miles in April!
Welcome back, everybody, to Average at Best. I am your host, Josh Chase. It's a big day here at Average at Best. We've got a big message. It's on the board behind me, but let's celebrate it properly.
100 miles in April!
Normally for these episodes, I come in and I script them and I write down what I want to talk about. This one's sort of off the cuff. The video's a couple days late, but really I just wanted to talk about setting goals a little bit here. When I started this training plan a couple weeks ago, the goal that I had set in mind was I wanted to hit all of my workouts and stay consistent, getting outside, getting my runs in, and making sure that I'm committing to putting the time in for this training plan. Not only are the benefits increased running speeds, better cardiovascular health, at least I think so, then I can see little goals like mileage marks, 100 miles in a month. So I took some time to look back at my Strava history for the last couple of years. The closest I've ever gotten to this mark is about 91 miles in April of last year. That also included both an ultramarathon and a Spartan Beast back-to-back to even get close to that number. So what does the 100-mile month really mean to me? It's not really about the mileage itself. To me, that's an arbitrary number. That 100 miles is really just the product of getting out and running, sticking to my training plan, going out and doing these workouts even on the days when I really don't want to. Now, you won't find me setting a 200-mile goal for May or a 500-mile goal for the year or anything like that. I didn't even have this goal in mind. It just was what happened because of how dedicated I am to this training plan. Now, this 8-week plan closes up right around the end of May, so that last weekend of May, I'm hoping to have somewhere close to this mileage mark. But if I finish May with 85 miles or 95 miles or even 97 miles, I'm not going to let that get me down. The goal is ultimately to get faster, be able to run distances better than I did previously, and overall just feel better about myself and where I'm at with my training. So I'll be honest, when I go through my training plan and I think about making these videos, at the end of the week I really struggle to sort of find the content that I think will fill up a 10-minute video. So I want to take you back to week 3 of this training plan. Usually most of the ideas for these episodes or the content that I want to produce comes to me while I'm on my runs. But there was one run this week that was a little more difficult to focus on anything besides, well, not dying really. So I've talked in the past about how my runs are set up throughout the week. Tuesday's generally an easy run. Saturday and Sunday are my longer runs where I can sort of lose myself in the run and just kind of think about what I want to do for the week. Thursdays are really the days where I buckle down and I have a hard training session, and this Thursday was no different. Most of my runs I'll go out and run on the trails. I'll run a path that I've either run before or I might just find some new area to go run in. For Thursday's workout, the plan was interval training sessions, doing 1,000 meters at race pace with a 30 to 90 second rest in between each one. Now, when I think about having to do a specific distance like 400 meters or 1,000 meters, the only thing that comes to mind is the dreaded track. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't like to run on treadmills. You probably like to run on a track even less. But it's sort of a necessary evil for a workout like this. So this week's interval session was sort of a mental and physical test. And I'll put the workout down below so you can take a look at the workout I was doing, and if you want to adopt it or do it yourself, you're welcome to. So it seems simple, 1,000 meters, which is 2.5 times around the high school track, with 2-minute rest periods in between. Now the recommendation is 6 to 8 of those. So I go in thinking, okay, I can probably survive 6. Any others that I happen to get past 6 would just be gravy at that point, I thought. So I go out and run my first 1,000 meters. It goes by easy. I'm feeling great. I have my 2-minute rest. I do the second 1,000 meters and my legs immediately already start to feel like jello. By the time I get to the 4th rep, which is over 3 miles of running at this point, I am absolutely exhausted. Not only am I physically exhausted, I'm mentally exhausted as well. So I think to myself, I can either bail out here and take it easy, or I can just gut it out. And even if I can't run race pace, I can run as fast as I can in order to get the workout done. And this is where that strange runner's high thing kicks in. So 5th interval comes through, I get by. 6th interval gets through, that was my original goal, and I feel good. Then I have a little more free time, so I decide to go to 7. And by the time the 8th and final interval comes around, I feel great, and I feel like I can just restart the whole workout. Now granted, I didn't do that, but I felt like I could. And at the end of the run, I sit down, and physically I am feeling a little exhausted, but mentally I'm more focused than ever. And when I think about how I feel on race day, and those small moments where I think to myself, should I be here? Am I in the right shape to do this? Not just to remember physically where I'm at, but mentally how focused I can get when I achieve something. Now, the last thing I just want to talk about this week is the speed in which I'm running. And it's not just training to get faster, running races faster, doing these workouts faster and better than I have before. When I look at my training plan at the beginning of the week, I map out the runs and how I'm going to do them. I have easy runs, I have long runs. One of the things that I've struggled with the most is maintaining the proper pace for each workout. Now for me, if I go out and jog, my typical pace is about 9 minutes, 30 seconds per mile. Now a lot of these long runs and endurance runs that I do in my workout plan, they suggest a 10:45 minute or an 11:30 minute, which for me almost seems impossibly slow. So what I've been trying to work on these last 2 weeks is maintaining a slower pace during those endurance and long runs, so that when it comes to the big workout days, the Tuesday and Thursday runs, that I really have that extra gas left in the tank to get those completed. And I truly believe that if I had gone out on Tuesday and run a faster pace or run a pace that's comfortable for me instead of slowing it down, that I really would not have been able to get through that Thursday workout. When you think about running slowly, it really just is counterintuitive to what we're trying to accomplish. You have to slow down in order to get fast. I mean, look at this. It barely even looks like I'm running. But if you're telling me in order to run faster, I've got to run slow, well, I guess we all start there and we can just get better. So that's it for this week's episode. These go by quick. We're 3 weeks into the training plan. Next week starts week 4, which is supposed to be a bit of a deloading week with a little more rest built in. We've also got some speed workouts coming up next week, which should be another great test of our mental and physical fortitude. And then when you think about small goals, after that, we're halfway through the training plan. It goes by quick. 8 weeks is not a long time to spend working on something. So to everybody out there getting your runs in, getting outside safely and socially distant from their friends and family, I applaud you, bravo, keep up the good work. That'll do it for this week's episode of Average at Best. I'm your host, Josh Chase, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you get notified when next week's episode gets posted. We'll talk to you guys again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. So what I've been trying to focus on these last 2 weeks is really just about getting out distractions. But really take this part and kind of put it in between in the middle. So it's what, Thursday? Also got some speed workouts coming up, which should be, we've also got some speed workouts coming up, which should be, we've also got some speed workouts coming up this week with a little bit of torture and enjoyment in there, or a careful balance of both. That was terrible. 100 miles in April? Well, April's over.